Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. I'm your host, as always, Brandon K. This is a real show. So today I have a very special guest. Feels like a very special episode here in the middle of every day in March. Videos every day in March, Brandon K Show. I got my friend Devin Tate here with me.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah,
All right,
Devin.
all right. Brandon Cake.
Devin, you're an artist I met in my journeys.
Yes, yes. We can play. Call your show like Kmart. Because they're no longer in business, so I don't think you'd be on like copyright infringement.
Brandon Kmart Show.
There you go.
So point is that we're gonna talk all about your art. We're gonna show your art, and it's like the whole showcase of how awesome this art is. And then we're gonna talk to you about how you come up with it and what your interests are and what brought you to art, like you were telling me before the show. But before we do that, I do want to say that Brandon K Show is sponsored by Giftiply. Giftiply charity wrapping paper. And you can go to giftiply.com, and 33% of the proceeds goes to all these great charity causes like Give Kids the World and Be the Match. So, and if you use the promo code BK Show, you get 25% off your order. So thank you, Giftiply, for sponsoring us. And it's a really great cause, really great wrapping paper, eco-friendly, all that stuff. With that, we're into the show. Mr. Devin, how long have you been making art for?
Let's see here. I think I started drawing when I was like, I don't know, probably like 4 years old or something like that.
Oh wow, what got you into like really taking it seriously? Like,
Just mm, to what got me into taking it seriously?
yeah.
Probably museums.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So my parents were big into going to museums and seeing like what some of these masters could create was very inspirational. Um, and also movies was very inspirational to me too. Like seeing what they did with special effects and with models and painting, and I'm like going, wow, you could, you know, that would be fun to do, and I guess that would be something that was an inspiration.
You mentioned growing up in Colorado and kind of being isolated and just like drawing all the time.
Uh yeah, yeah. So um where I grew up, uh between Colorado Springs and Monument, it could reach like really cold at night, and I think I saw it like 30 below one time. And um you get good at like being able to keep yourself occupied with isolation. Um and if you want to look at what isolation looks like,
Yeah.
hey, here's a stack of what isolation is. Um, and I I just kind of homed in my skills on that. Um,
You got into like very detailed drawing, so I saw even this is one of your early sketchbooks, and even the first thing, I don't know how close we can get on that, but it's like this machinery. So it's like sci-fi inspired, but like how long does even like a little sketch like this take you?
that wasn't very long. I don't even remember doing that. This stuff is done. I mean, is just a doodle to me.
Are you inspired by like sci-fi? Do you like Star Wars and Star Trek and all that stuff?
Oh, I was inspired by Star Wars ever since I saw it as a little kid. Absolutely. Star Wars was absolutely jet fuel for my brain. Um, and the
You
the
draw a lot of this like
another big inspiration
yes, I'm listening.
was um as far as movie wise is actually Aliens. When I got to know who H.R. Giger was,
Oh, yeah.
Giger or Geiger, I
Geiger.
always
H.R.
mess up.
Geiger.
Is it Geiger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he
So,
the one who designs the costumes, or what does Geiger do?
well, Geiger, he's done a whole bunch. Okay, so Geiger is the original creator of the alien idea of the xenomorph.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I could dude, he need a whole nother show if he wanted to talk about him.
Galen.
He's just an incredible artist.
So
Um,
he would he just make drawings and paintings, and then they that inspired the movie and stuff, or
like I said, man, like, I
yeah,
mean, we gotta be careful about getting off on topic
yeah,
on that particular artist
yeah.
because we could easily, like, run through the show quite
Solomon,
easily.
could you describe what?
There it is. Take a look at
Yeah,
that.
There we go. So
yeah.
he sat. He yeah he
So yeah, his whole thing was the inspiration of that whole art form of just that dark and just alien aspect of art, and that was used throughout the entire Alien
Well,
series.
and some of that's true. And he was on set. And who is the director of Alien
Ridley
again?
Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ridley Scott.
yeah.
And I had a book that a friend of mine loaned me for a little bit, and it was a complete set of Giger's work, Geiger's work,
Yeah,
called the Eckermonogon.
I wanted to show
Mm.
this.
And he and what was cool about Geiger is that he was good friends with another famous artist by the name of Salvador Dali.
Oh yeah.
And he went to a book signing of this rare book because it's very hard to find. It was leather bound. Um, and he got Geiger and Salvador Dali to sign the book, and Salvador Dali did an actual like little sketch inside the drawing, inside the
Okay.
book, which made it worth a lot of money. Because if you know anything about Salvador Dali, the original works from Salvador Dali are worth a lot of money
Oh yeah,
because he kind of went off and started having other people sort of drawing his work for him and then sometimes even signing it. His stuff kind of got a little shady later on.
I feel like he has like a lot of sketches out there that I've seen.
Uh
Dolly.
Dolly? Oh yeah. He's in a lot of museums. There's have you ever seen like this one painting with like the dripping clocks off
Yeah,
the wall?
yeah. No, I
Uh,
saw the Dolly Museum.
Oh, you've
Yeah,
been to
London.
oh
There's a Dolly Museum in London I went to.
there's one on okay,
Yeah.
there's a his main one I
Yeah.
think is in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's one I wanted to go to. And I've been to the Met in New York, and I got to see the one with the dripping clocks, and that one's called "The Persistence of Memory."
The Persistence of Memory.
Hmm.
And he's got multiple ones with dripping clocks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all like what's called surrealism.
Elephants with the long legs.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so I could see how he could have inspired Geiger and yourself. And this is a cool one. This is like the sci-fi.
Well, that's more along the lines of what I was coming up with. What's with the environmental technology.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about environmental technology. Tell us all about it.
So I came up with this kind of a concept of a vehicle.
Yeah, it's like a
Um,
rounder kind of.
well, it's more of almost like a. Here we go. Okay, more of like a motorcycle.
Get it closer to.
There we go. I'll let you hold that.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle.
And then it has like these side stabilizers. And I was a little bit ahead of my time in coming up with this. That it would be, um, and I could have easily made this into like an electric engine, but the technology for that wasn't invented yet.
Yeah.
And so this back area here would have been for like a 1100 cc engine, and here's the back brake, like the firewall for it,
Yeah.
and then like a roll cage. Because one of my things is like going, okay, if you have a vehicle that is kind of like a motorcycle, one of the things that sucks about being on a motorcycle is crashing, right?
Sure, sure.
And so I want to try and come up with that concept of something that would be environmentally friendly, and possibly this could go biodiesel as well.
So you're like inventing something here in your sketches.
But yeah, but I'll say luckily now, um, the I've seen a lot of different takes on something kind of like this idea. But one of the things I had a real problem with was the front steering column and how exactly I get the gear ratios to work.
Yeah. Well, are
Um,
you an engineer, or you just are just imagining all this stuff?
no, I'm not an engineer, but I have friends and like uh I paid close attention to my science professors and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So then, I mean, this is just one that you came up with in an early notebook. Did you go further on with this idea and make more drawings about this specific idea, or?
No, I probably got bored.
Oh yeah,
I
I moved on to the next
I
thing.
did. The one thing about us artists is that we kind of keep moving along, and I was probably doing like a
Is that
lot of
what you
drawings.
wanted to? Is that mostly what you wanted to talk about? The eco?
This is one that interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I came up. I think one of these ideas that I had might have gotten stolen,
Okay, let's take a
and
look at it.
this is okay.
It's gonna be like a phone. It looks like a cell phone,
Okay.
like a early idea for a cell phone or a
Yeah,
smartphone.
okay, exactly.
Yeah,
All right. So this is before touchscreen technology came out,
yeah.
and
Oh, you got the, and it also has the place for the credit card to go in.
yes, so this is before. This is also a credit card. Okay, and this is an antenna. Um, so we got an antenna up here, and then this thing here. If some of us remember from back in the '90s, you could have like a little key fob, and this is before you had like that little wireless thing on your credit card that you could wave in front of the gas pump, and you could just automatically deduct money out of your account and pay for your gas.
Yes, I'm listening.
But
I found another good one in here too.
I was working security at Toshiba at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and this is before cell phone. Let's see, what was this? This would have been about 97.
Yeah.
And I got talking with one of the engineers at Toshiba about this, and his eyes got real big about my idea.
Oh.
And I don't know about I don't know how many years later I
Sure.
started seeing things pop up about for the smartphone.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, you
It's
never know.
probably
You never know.
you never know who you accidentally mouth off to.
This is another one. Kind of seems eco-friendly. This is the long distance bus.
And that got shut down
Can we
by
share that
by
one?
actually another trucker.
Yeah. Go on.
Because I started talking about, okay, why can't we transport people in trucks? And the thing is because the cab, like, okay, you can't just use a trailer like this.
So the
In
idea,
order-
the idea is like this is be like a bus that holds like hundreds of people in it.
Well, not hundreds, but
No?
it could be like the rigs that we have. The rigs that we have could be transformed to be able to transport people.
Okay.
But
Oh, I got you.
in short, that's against the law.
Oh well,
You
then
can't do
change
that.
the laws.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you got all these awesome ideas. I mean, even when we're doing art, can you show us this how fire was invented comic for the audience?
Okay, so this was this is like a short cartoon that I came up with, and I'm sorry that I didn't get to really clean this up a little bit.
No, we wanna see it. This is all we know. This is just your
So
sketchbook.
this was Cave Dad meeting the punk rock skateboard son who got his daughter pregnant, and then the Cave Dad got angry and took away the skateboard. And then
Oh, there you go.
and then smashed the skateboard,
Smash the skateboard.
and then the skateboard caught fire,
So-
and then that's how fire got invented.
I love that. I love that.
And then after the
there's
fire,
There's more.
the fire got invented, and the skateboard caught fire. Then he chased the cave boy around and burnt him on the ass.
With fire.
Yes.
The end with the
Yes.
skateboard crushed and the guy on fire. That's great.
So not only was it the invention of fire, it was fire's first use.
Yes, that's right.
That's so funny. I like this is just like our early sketchbook, and we'll see all your more advanced stuff you did. This was a cool one. I'm a little clown crow. And you got the clown crow in the back in the side.
And I'm going to say right now that I am a phonetic speller, so please don't show my spelling too
Okay.
much.
Well, I'm gonna,
I'll show my artwork, but my spelling is atrocious.
well, we got like a crow thing going here. We got Drinky Crow over here. We had Crow tattoo artist on the show. We a crow theme on this show. Would you like to read this poem, or could I read it, or
Oh my goodness.
after your phone call?
No.
It's
I apologize about that.
okay. Would you read this, or you want me to read it?
I'll read
All
it.
right,
Yeah,
let's hear it.
totally.
Let's hear some. Is this? Did you write this as a teenager?
Yes.
Let's hear this. Let's
Okay.
hear this stuff.
So, you don't know who I am. You don't know where I've been. You can't see what I see because I'm not who you want to be. I did my best to save the trees, even though humanity acts like fleas. I think I'm the only one who sees the world as one floating in space in its common grace. I've seen things from a different place of mind this time, and it's almost time for it to begin. Feel like I'm in a cage, and I'm ready to turn that page. Would you like to know what happens to you? Yeah, I bet you do. I have went through that dark tunnel to see the light, and if the world grows up, we'll be all right. You don't know who I am. You don't know where I've been. You can't see what I see because I'm not who you want to be. Mother Earth and God act as one. Our God loves us so. But in sometimes our life, it has to snow. Mother Earth has told us to clean our rooms. We just need a little help from God to find our fucking brooms. I'm a little
Yes.
clown crow. I'm a little crown crow. I'm a little crown crow. We got kicked out of the nest wearing a bulletproof vest. That's all I got.
That sounds more like a song than a poem. Like he could put music to it.
Uh,
Especially the end sounds like a chorus.
yeah, I threw a little bit in the chorus on that.
Well, I'm a big poetry fan. That was really good. Did that also had a environmental message to it? Is that like a lot about what your art is about?
Yeah, I'm majorly moved into trying to save the planet. Yeah, and
Uh,
humanity.
so I haven't seen a lot
Actually,
of.
I don't think the planet's not in any kind of trouble. Like, I mean, human race can come and go, and the Earth will, just like mom and dad, like when we misbehave in the back of the car,
Yes,
you know, I brought you into this world. I can take you out and just make two more like you, and
I hear what you're saying. You're saying that the planet will be fine, but the human race could extinguish itself
yeah. So
with our own
even
choices.
if like our planet got hit by an asteroid,
Yeah,
like yeah, everything on Earth will die and perish. We'll maybe have like a big, kind of little chunk thing on us that make our Earth look like a Death Star, but it will eventually repopulate itself over like a couple billion years, and I'll still be here.
so is your message kind of to yeah, just to save ourselves so that we don't kill ourselves, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of nice.
Do you have more art in that direction in those notebooks you would share with us,
Let's see.
or just anything else you thought you might share here today? This is
I
the Devin Tate showcase, so you can share whatever you want
let's see
today.
here, man. As far as environmental tech,
I think this is really good stuff. Like even the random sketchbook, you have such detail in your work.
I'm trying to. I had something called, and it
I
was
could,
from a slide,
yeah.
and I didn't bring it with me, and the artwork got destroyed years ago.
I
Um,
guess move forward.
and the artwork got destroyed years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was called Eco Trip. Okay,
Yeah.
and so and it was a chalk piece. And it had kind of like different aspects of ecological problems that humanity does on planet Earth, and unfortunately, it got ruined. But I think I kind of mainly shared what as far as environmentalism.
I found another
But,
sci-fi one.
yeah,
This
I mean,
is an awesome robot.
Hmm.
let's see if I can find. I don't know which sketchbooks because some sketchbooks here I don't know which ones we got. But
On that one, whenever you have the
this,
guns mounted on the arm like that, I always think if you fire that thing, it's gonna pull your whole shoulder out of whack, right?
well, he's a robot though. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably right. Uh, I might find another one because there's one that's like this guy here.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, let's
If I can find his picture,
Let's see. We got another robot.
Looks like
yeah, I got really into robots.
Do you have like? Did you ever write a story about these robots?
I was gonna write a story about like a sci-fi story but not particularly about robots. It's going to be more like a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Would you
shoot,
share your idea with us?
that one's not
Or-
bad. I can't find him. Where did he go? All right, let's see what that idea is. Laying or
Can I
never.
show? Can I show this one?
No.
But yeah, you got some awesome stuff in here, and
Yeah, if you come across that picture that I had on my phone, let me know.
yeah, man.
This one is interesting. I actually got inspired by Salvador Dali to make this,
Let's see it.
and so Salvador used one of his pictures. He used numbers in order to make up the face of a skull.
Okay.
And so I kind of came up with something like that, and then I used various faces around it to kind of make up the rest of the head and hair, and sort of like kind of like the lapels of a jacket.
So can you count the faces? Do you know how many faces there are in there?
Let's see here. I got 1, 2,
I see
3,
the one on the
4,
right.
5. I think there's 5.
Oh wow.
Wow.
All right.
Amazing.
So did you always go by Devin Tate, or did you used to have any other artist names?
No, not really.
No
Not
artist
really.
names. Oh, this is cool. Yeah. So you have you do a lot of like logo work, which is what you didn't want me to show earlier, but like you do really great logo work.
I did, and I'm sorry I wasn't willing to show that
No, it's
last
okay.
one. That
No,
particular
no,
establishment
because
was
it's a
fine.
specific name of places.
Yeah,
Can I-
man.
can I
You're the
show-
artist, man.
Can I
I,
share this one?
yeah, go ahead.
This
So,
one, I'd want to see a whole story about this guy.
I
Ah.
A
I will-
very interesting looking alien.
yeah, so that's Zig, and so I was gonna make a comic book strip
Yeah.
of about 2 different aliens, and one was called Zig, and the other one's called Zag.
Zig and Zag.
And like Zig's sort of like the smart, intellectual, kind of mischievous guy, sort of hates the government type of guy. And then there's Zag, who's just kind of like a big fat stoner idiot. And they're like best of friends. And
I can't find Zag in here. But
I don't remember seeing a picture of Zag.
yeah, this might be where they live.
This is one I want. Touch up. Yeah, right.
Really cool, futuristic tubing, of course.
Either that or it's a very big hamster home.
Yeah, it is, right? I think that one is actually one of my environmental tech ideas on that. As
Oh,
far
really?
as like people trying to get around.
Yeah, using tubes.
Well, yeah, I've been like because of people,
Let me
the outer oxygen, and then like having like kind of jettison tubes of trains and stuff.
Oh,
like
that upper
like
one's a
subways.
tram, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
this is one I need to come back and touch up on. And I really like this one. I liked it. I forgot I had this. And just kind of like this robotical jester holding this like robotical rose.
Whoa.
And I want to get back into that and touch it up with get some darks on it.
That
I
looks a
think that'd
little
be cool.
steampunkish almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some of the gears on his arm.
I like this one. This is just very intricate.
Where did it go?
Just like, where the hell does that come from?
Wow.
No. Where did the robot go?
So Zig and Zag. They it sounds like what do they call those guys? Goofus and Gallant kind of situation.
Yeah, right. All right, here's a weird
But
one.
with aliens.
Okay, I'm not gonna get up too close on this,
Okay.
but I went on a little bit of a trip for a while, and I got really obsessed with time travel.
Oh hell yeah, me too.
All right, and got into like string theory and dark matter and stuff like that, and started coming up with a concept called the soccer ball.
Okay.
And there's a thing called it's called a hypercube.
Okay.
All right, don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Can we look it up, Solomon? A hypercube.
Hypercube?
Yeah.
All right, we can look it up. But keep
Let's
going.
go. Let's solve the mysteries of time travel right here.
Okay, so
I can tell you something I learned about time travel when I was in high school.
what's
I
up?
was watching a documentary, and it kind of inspired my time travel comic book I want to make. But the idea was like if you could take I think it was an atom, and open it up with the gravitational pull of like a planet, then you could like time travel. There was something along those lines.
All right.
Yeah. But anyways, I kind of based my whole, like I said, my time travel comic around that. But what's your concept here?
Um, you're you're not too far off on mine.
Yeah.
So um, there's parts that make up an atom,
Yes.
and there's different. I don't know them all, but some are like called quarks and leptons.
Okay.
And so if we haven't, okay, we're starting to look up a hypercube right here.
Yes.
And so you see that inner cube on the
Yes.
inside,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a larger cube on the
All
outside.
right, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so the inner cube will become the outer cube at the same time that the outer cube is becoming the inner cube,
Mm,
which is a three-dimensional impossibility.
mm,
Okay, but what I came up with, I go, why do you have to use a cube shape? Okay,
mm,
why can't it be a sphere?
mm.
And so I started looking at soccer balls. And if you look at soccer balls, they have what, hexagons on them, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so I started looking at these different hexagons. I go, if these hexagons were loosely coiled flat springs, okay, so these springs could contract and expand,
Mm,
I believe that, and I probably have to have like a hypercomputer to try and come up with this model that I have in my head, but I believe that the inner sphere or the inner nucleus could expand at the same time that the outer sphere could contract, and that the loosely coiled flat springs, it would be a very tight fit, but I believe that they would be able to pass each other and then be able to expand and contract at the same time.
mm. Well, it's
Um,
hard for me to wrap my head around, but I think I could kind of th- I could see how something like that makes sense.
so and these coiled flat springs, okay, they're massive. This device would be about the size of Colorado,
Okay.
and it would be in space. And we would it would probably starting messing with
Yeah.
um the the tidal flow, because it would be having about enough mass as our moon. Um, and these flat springs um would be particle
I'll just
accelerators,
look at this. We don't have to share it.
to be able to push the level of C and be able to break apart the different levels of C into the different components
Yeah.
of the atom, and basically be able to extract that. Now, my power source that I was trying to come up with was,
Let's
I'm like,
get you back
there's
in front of
nothing
the.
that we
Oh, sorry. You went-
there's nothing that we know that exists. And so I was starting to come up with some different ideas of what could possibly have something like that.
Yeah.
And I started coming up with we don't really know what dark energy is
Ah,
yet.
right, right, right.
And so maybe something like that could be harnessed, and I I think we might be able to like harness something like that from our sun. I don't know.
Right, right.
I don't know. I'm getting
Yeah,
weird. We're getting out
yeah.
there, and like I don't know.
No,
Like,
but
hey man, I smoked way too much weed back in the day and stuff.
yeah, well, I like to think about all this stuff, and
Little robot.
I like to apply it to all to my my time travel comic because it's just cool to think about where would you go if you could time travel, Devin?
If I could time travel,
Yeah.
oh boy, wow, that's a heck of a question. Like, do I get like one shot?
If you ever had thought about something before, had you ever considered where you might go?
Well, can I just like be myself,
Yeah,
or
yeah, you of course you're
like
yourself. You're
I can
try
just go back into my younger self
Oh,
before I make all my mistakes or
okay.
something like
All
that?
right. That's what most people want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would think
I
that
like
that's
the.
what people wish that they could
This
people
is
wish
why I
that they,
wanted headphones.
people wish that they could go way back in time and like change their mistakes, but then if you change one mistake, then your whole life changes. You don't have anything that you have now, you know?
Yeah, but if you can go back in time, you remember the mistakes that you're gonna make.
Yeah, yeah, but then I guess you make new mistakes, right?
Well, what do we talk? Are we talking about time travel where you today sort of go back as who you are today, or you today go back into your younger self? What are we talking about?
I'm saying you, Solomon, you can go back And I'm telling you, you can time travel. You can do it however you want. You can go tell yourself something in the past, or you can
Right.
go back into your old body. But I mean, where would you want to go with
I think I'd wanna go someplace that, well before me,
it? Yeah.
obvious yeah, like, the beginning of the Roman Empire or something like that. I think
So
I'd wanna go that far back.
you just want to you like history. You want to see what it was all like back then.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that one of your favorite time periods?
Not necessarily. My favorite time period would probably be Los Angeles in the 1930s and 40s,
Oh, that'd be really
maybe
cool.
up into the 50s when technology really started to take off. But, if we get on crazy stories, I feel like in my previous life, I was already there, so, you know.
Oh,
There you go.
oh wow, that is crazy. I'm just kidding. I I always want to go to the future. I want to see what it looks like 100 years from now. If especially, I want to go to a sweet spot where we haven't destroyed ourselves yet, and see how far our technology has evolved before we destroy ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You go too far in the future, and you don't know what you're gonna be
Yeah, you
diving
won't know till
into.
you get there.
You might find out that like white guys with beards are like a high delicacy in restaurants or something. You don't know.
Did you think of somewhere you'd want to go?
If it'd be something that I could kind of like do Groundhog Day style and just kind of like live over and over, it'd probably be um my sophomore year of no, my junior year of high school.
Yeah, you
That
just
was that was just a lot of fun. I could like probably live that over for a long time.
Nice. What
cool.
was fun about it?
Man, I just everything was fun, man. Like I mean, everything was new. Like music was new. Uh, Girls liked me at the time. I was good looking. I don't like the parties were awesome. Like the whole rave scene
Mhm.
was like really blowing up. Um, and like the grunge scene was going off. And had a pretty kick ass car and had a lot of cool friends and
You have
just
this.
I don't have any like bad memories of that year at all.
We got this piece over here where you drew an album cover for Corn. Were you into Corn in high school?
I was seriously into corn.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
too. Check this out. This was he said this was for the Corn album drawing contest, and you drew this as a for their album cover, and you said you got to show it to them.
No, I think I bumped into one of the band members
Yeah.
one time, and he's in HB, and I think I had a picture on my phone, and I was like, yeah, I was thinking about trying to submit this, and I ran out of time because it's not finished.
Was it
And
a contest or something?
yeah, it was like a contest and
Oh, got it, okay.
a lot of different.
They
Yeah.
always had awesome they always had awesome art on their albums, so they were looking for someone to draw their album cover.
Mm.
And then this is some scary Joker looking guy,
Well,
right? Well,
well,
you said it was a self portrait, but he kind of looks like the Joker, no?
not really, because like it was a self portrait, but because of this type of wrecking ball thing that has been
He's got
attached.
to his lip. It's dragging
Well,
his
it
lip
was
down.
yeah, it's like kind of underneath his chin,
Oh,
so
that looks painful.
it's been pierced, and then the weight of it over time has been metamorphosized his face and basically pulled it down
Ah,
from gravity.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
And then the same time
yeah.
he is
Jeez.
being kind of being tortured or tormented by a kind of like a Matrix type of scenario where he's getting his mind kind of messed with at the same time
There.
Okay,
while being in a stockade.
so
Yeah.
that's more like him in a deep memory as opposed to electroshock. Could be both, I guess.
Or he's not even allowed to sleep because the
Uh,
computer won't let him do it. Now, these columns were going to have words on it that I had taken out, that I was going to adhere to it. And I never got to it. And then also I was going to, add some more colors in the background. So it's going to be like a really pleasant, happy background with like, white picket fences and like nice little house and stuff
Mm.
like that.
oh,
And
contrast.
yeah, so exact contrast of what is going on in the foreground would be a
That's
complete
pretty
contradiction.
terrifying, man.
Yeah.
He's like torment.
My
But it goes along with Corn because they have all kinds of songs about torment and t- torture and everything else.
this is one that I wanted to bring, and
Yeah.
this one I'm I'm particularly proud of. So this is called Writing on Heaven and Hell, and I dedicated this to my dad,
Can you go
and I
closer?
didn't.
There's a lot of
y-
detail in there.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow,
got,
look at that.
and so I didn't make it in time to give it to him, and the guy passed in '04. But the bike, the chassis of it, I was inspired by the French horn.
There's more faces down there. There's like
Yeah.
tons of faces.
I like one of my favorite parts of that is the octopus that's in the corner.
Yeah, so wow, so really cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's up in that
So are those
right up here.
spirits or those tormentors?
No, they're just like I'll probably like maybe kind of like demons or something like
Okay,
that. So
so
it's
they're
like a
more
heaven and a
more tormentors
so
than
writing on
spirits.
heaven and hell. So like obviously like the upper sky part, riding on the Harley, you're in heaven,
Yeah.
and then he's riding on the ground of below is hell.
What's
Uh,
what's your favorite Corn album?
Oh, I don't know.
Or
I'd say probably my favorite musical artist
yeah.
is Nine Inch Nails.
Oh hell yeah, man, me too.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
there it is.
We found him. We found the robot.
So
9 Inch Nails is one of my favorite groups too.
yeah, this is the one that I like.
mm,
So that one was pen and ink, no preliminary sketch, which is not easy. Which means like I didn't get down with a pencil and try and sketch this out.
right.
Um, I just went down with like a big balling pen and then maybe a little bit of a felt, and just went off on it. I got really good at getting into a grayscale with a big pen, and there's a lot more that I can do it with that. I have to give props to some of the guys in jail of what I've seen that they can do with a picking pen, because they some have what's called being in there all day, and they don't even have like a real pen. They just have like if you were to ever take a pen completely apart, like all you have is like that little plastic tube that's wiggly and like the little
Right.
part of a ball peen.
Mm-hmm.
And they do stuff that looks like it was done by a Renaissance master of some of the stuff I've seen.
I believe it. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, do you come up with this stuff in your mind first, or do you just start drawing and see what comes out?
Uh, I usually try and have something kind of in my mind a little bit
Mm-hmm.
before I go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I'll have to have sometimes I'll stare at a page. Sometimes like I'll start something a little bit, and like I'll see where it takes me. But when I tend to do a picture like that, I usually screw it up. Like I get frustrated because I didn't plan it out. I don't have like the balance or the perception right, and I'll end up throwing it away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I was gonna say, you come up with it. Do you have like really gnarly dreams?
Wow.
Because you're an artist, and like if you can imagine that like a robot, like in that detail, like I wonder what your dreams must be like.
uh, I've no. I mean, I definitely have some like pretty crazy nightmares, but I tend not to want. I don't want to paint them.
Right, right.
You
You don't get
call.
inspired by your dreams.
I've I've had some dreams that I've had inspiration about, but call me weird and superstitious, but like to draw my nightmares,
Mm.
I'd be too afraid that like they like somehow
Come to life.
come to
Make
life.
it
Yeah, it's
real.
some sort of like Stephen King shit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Picture this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one's really detailed and colored.
And color, interesting. Yeah.
What's that one about?
Just a dude who's. I think my mind was like a guy who kind of wakes up in the morning and he's had a bad night of using and he's very depressed and he's having that moment of enlightenment
Wow, is that would
Moment
this
of
be?
when it's
clarity.
time to get sober.
You think so? Is this like a surrealist almost the style?
No, that's not surrealist.
What would that be called? Is there a
Surrealist.
it's like a Picasso
Okay,
or how would what
surrealism. Okay, um, surrealism
Yes.
by its definition. Okay, so you have realism, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you would have painting that would look, uh, you know, exactly like you'd have a drawing,
Right.
uh, or a painting just like this teddy bear.
Okay.
All right, and look like a very real picture of this bear.
Yes. And then
Except that this bear is now, um, in a parachute jumping out of an airplane or something. Something
mhm.
that it looks like reality, but it is surreal.
I
Uh,
got you because it's like
eh,
just a little one step off from reality kind of thing.
And we are excellent at surrealism now with
Mhm.
our wonderful computer graphics.
Mhm.
I remember when we first started coming out with computer graphics, and parents had to tell their children animals can't really talk. Just
Mm.
so you know, because we were starting to get good at like making them look like they can
Wow,
talk.
that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Well, AI now we're gonna be able to recreate anybody, anything with AI technology and make it look just like us and talk just like us.
Yeah. See, I'm not really here anyway.
Uh, that's the whole twist of the
Neither of you
episode.
are.
Yeah.
I had a question for you. Is art a hobby? Do you make a living from it, or is it just something you like to do?
I've uh I want to make a living at it, and I graduated high school with like 6 art scholarships, and I
Mm.
went to school in Los Angeles, and some bad stuff happened, and then also something called the .com crash hit
Oh yeah.
because everybody was going to be going into web page design, and I knew a lot of good friends who had really good jobs and everything was planned out, and then that all blew up in their face. Um, and I I then realized I need to change my major from an art major to a science major to environmental tech to get in it serious.
Mm.
And people were like going, well, Devin, why didn't you do something like that? With that. And I'd be like, well, I'd ask my government the same thing. Um, but now, I don't know. Did that answer your question,
I
Matt?
think so. And then my last question, you mentioned that you did a stint with some graffiti at some point, right? You said, or
Oh,
did you ever
yeah,
do like tagging or anything like
I
that?
got in trouble for graffiti,
Right.
but that was in high school. I was being silly.
So
All right.
did
Yeah.
you just do it like regular tagging or would you like do your own style or
Yeah, I'm trying
I
to
don't
remember where
know.
your
What
art
are the
came from.
statutes of limitations here, man?
well, nobody knows where you were or what you were doing, but no, I was just but no, you don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got a nice piece here, another very detailed piece. What do you call this one?
This one's called childhood microchips.
Can you help me hold it up? I'm gonna put this other one back. Childhood microchips. Let's see, did we get the full?
Gonna come back here a little bit.
Yeah, you get the full thing here. Well, here we can do
And
the full like that,
there we go.
and then
There we go. Yeah.
when you want to close in, we'll
And
do
then
the
close
other.
in, yeah. Okay,
Oh,
now it's got like a star, and then you sat here and painted this.
well, this was a thing of all right. Let me get to where.
Okay.
All right. So reason I call them childhood microchips is that I had a relationship with um a woman with 2 boys,
Mhm.
and this one boy named Bobby, he was a 4-year-old, and he loved art,
Mhm.
and so I took out this white piece of paper, and I go, okay, like in these like little squares that I have, I'm like, you can do whatever you want in these squares, but I just want you to stay inside the squares. He goes, okay, fine. And so he did that, and he started scribbling all around in one of these squares, and he started making some other ones. And he goes, I like the star. And this didn't mean to be like a Carl's Jr. star. He just wanted to make it a star.
Yeah.
It just happened to turn out kind of
Carl's
like
Jr. with a strong arm.
yeah, right. And so like the star got in here. And then I go, okay, that's great. And after that, I spent something like over 2 years working on this
Yeah.
with colored pencil and also working with pen and ink. And so this was originally like a white piece of paper.
Here, when we go down, down. So like a little, if this little, like he drew this, maybe
Yeah, so like
he drew the star, he drew the
yeah,
little fly.
and then like he drew in here. But of course, I went and I touched in everything with colored pencil, and I made it kind of everything pop into like a little bit more symmetry.
Yeah.
And why I call it childhood microchips is because they are what you they are what they they are what you program to be.
Oh, when children are
Yes.
the result of their environment,
No, they are what you parent them to be.
what you parent them to be. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And so this has different aspects of children's story tales. So up here is like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh wow.
All right. Down here you
That's the
have
bed. I see a
little
bed in
little
there.
Red Riding Hood.
Okay, there she is. Wow, now it's popping out more when
Yeah,
you say
makes
it.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that egg? Okay. Humpty Dumpty.
Wow.
All right. And so he fell down. There, you can work it backwards. Had a big fall, and then
Dead.
he's in RIP. He has like a little, basketball hoop that he's trying to make it through as he falls down the hole. And over here we have Alice in Wonderland.
Mushrooms. I'm seeing mushrooms. I'm seeing the
I'm
Cheshire
trying to get
Cat.
this correct.
I'm seeing the Cheshire Cat. Well, there's glare on this, but for the listeners,
That looks good.
you got
Okay,
the
so-
Cheshire Cat. You got possibly the caterpillar on the mushroom.
Caterpillar on the mushroom.
I have a caterpillar tattoo on my arm.
See, moving up here a little bit, we have Godzilla. And this isn't complete.
No, you're
no,
gonna add
it's
more
not.
to this. It looks
there's-
like you've filled up every little spot.
Well, there's a couple parts where I want to have what's called balance,
okay.
and I'll get to that later.
Mhm, okay.
And I have to excuse myself just for a second. I have to go get some stuff.
Okay, we're gonna show more of Devin's art, and yeah, we've learned some really great stuff. I'm a particularly big fan of this Korn album cover because of the tortured aspect. Because it's up to the viewer to say what is he tortured with. What do you think he's tortured with, Solomon?
Well, I'm more along the lines of what did he do?
What did he
to
do?
get there?
Well, that's a major question. All right, yeah, this is cool. You got something from under the table.
Well, I want to keep going on this.
Oh,
just
okay.
a second.
The
Okay.
balance. Okay,
All right.
I'm holding the picture up.
So
Add more microchips to it.
and I'm going to get it framed with something called museum quality glass.
Yeah.
So it's a UV protective glass that will protect the India ink from getting faded by the sun. And then I used to work at, I can put this down now.
Yeah.
I used to work at a place called Speedy Circuits that made circuit boards for the military.
Yeah.
And so that's what these things are.
And
these are damaged merchandise. So they don't work. But these things used to be for like, I can't say which companies, but they're for things that make things go boom during wartime.
oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, they're like cool microchips. So they're very intricate, more intricate like microchips that you could put on the side and like probably inspired you in
Exactly. So
in
these
the
would
art.
go along the border of the art piece.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
clip them.
And I've had this done before, like I've kind of taped it up, and dude, it looks so dope with
Yeah.
these on the outside.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a major art piece, or maybe even a whole style you could do and put out there into the world. But it's really awesome.
Well,
Plus,
someday
it has
when
a pretty good meaning. I like the meaning.
someday when I have the money, I'll get that framed up and everything the way I want to.
Mhm. And then what's this guy underneath the table here?
Yikes! I gotta be careful of him.
Here it comes.
Okay,
It's coming up.
this is called Happy Snowflake,
Yeah.
and this started off as a college piece that I did for a professor.
Yeah.
And this one I'm kind of proud about. And so each one of these different sections are all right triangles that I glued onto a portion. So each one of these little modules are identical to the other one. Okay. And then I have a casting of a female face on the front that's glued on. So trying to get all these together in the right area. And this is done with a type of kind of like a poster board that you'd use to make mats around a picture, and had to be carefully cut out. And then I had to use a combination of paper clips and rubber bands and glue very patiently to try and get this glued on. And the face is, I'm glad he made it here, but he almost didn't. So when I get home, I'm going to have to probably re-glue it just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fragile. But this is something that I'd be hanging up, and it's kind of like my little luck charm. I think when sometimes I'm in my room, and if it's staring at me like this, I know like I'm probably making some good decisions in my life.
Oh, wow.
And then for some reason, and this will be on like, there'll be zero wind, and it'll start turning away.
Yeah.
And turning like this. And it won't be looking at me. I'll be like, okay, like maybe I'm screwing up in something. And it tends to be telling me the truth.
Well, before you put it away, what's interesting is when you look at it, if you're looking at it from the side, it looks like it's just a regular face. But then as you turn, it looks like it's almost smiling. You know what I mean? It's like it almost changes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah,
I see it when it's
interesting.
right there. He's got an upturned smile.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that means you're having a good day. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. So you took art in college?
Yeah. My first art school I went to is called Bemis Art School. I was a kid, and then throughout like, middle school, high school, was really into art there.
Did you make any other cool projects you could tell us about in art school or in
Uh,
college?
yeah. Can I put this away real quick?
Yeah. Well, I'll hold it. We're almost done.
No, I want to put it away.
Okay.
Sorry,
well,
buddy.
Well, so yeah, we're gonna find out about Mr. Devin and his other art projects here in a second. Here we go.
See, I was quick.
Yeah,
See?
art
Like
projects.
a Japanese fart, man. I'm back.
Art projects.
All right.
Art projects over the years. Yeah. Did you make any other big ones that you couldn't bring today, or that you turned in, or something? Or
Okay, yes. There's one that I made, and I didn't. I can't show it because the museum got rid of it, and I don't have the paperwork from this. I didn't have time to go into the storage unit and get it. Um, but I was shown one of my pieces for a little bit at the National Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C.
Oh yeah.
And it was about the Olympics with Jesse Owen, and about how Hitler's control over the Olympics at the time, and how angry Hitler got that Jesse Owens won the Olympics at this time. And I don't have the painting with me, but I mean, I still have a very good description of it in my head, and I could probably repaint it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So there's a picture of Hitler, and he has, and he's like a marionette holder. So he's
Okay.
holding the Olympic symbol like a puppet. Okay, and so there are the different rings. Okay, that he's holding. He has like this evil grin on his face, and within the rings is the field track that Jesse Owen is running around in. And as Jesse is running, he is breaking through one of the rings that is the puppet that is being puppeted by Hitler, and is being smashed and going through.
Super awesome, man. I could totally imagine that in my mind, and like seems like you have like with most artists, you have a very positive message in your art.
Mm-hmm.
And like
It's
our
I'd like
message to the world is our art.
Well, some of it, I'm not gonna lie, some of it can be kind of dark, but I mean, childhood microchips is a little bit ugly. But
well, the darkness can be like an expression of just getting stuff out, like getting out of our demons out on paper.
I am starting to come up with I'm deciding that I kind of like comedy a little bit more to make
Mhm.
people smile.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe you exercised your demons already in a lot of your art. Got
let's
it
see,
out.
Norman. Yeah, there's an artist that my dad turned me on to, and his name is Norman Rockwell. Ever
Mhm.
heard of him?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
All right, he did like
Of
a lot of
course.
stuff for like Saturday Evening Post, Coca Cola, and he told me he said, you know what's cool about his artwork, Devin, is that you don't have to like be philosophical or really like look at it and kind of scratch your head and going, wondering what he's thinking. It's kind of like you automatically get it, and it's usually kind of humorous that makes you laugh.
Mm.
He goes, people appreciate that kind of art too, and I go, all right, and I'm like, that's something to be kind of inspired to do. But you know what I found out
Mm.
is to do art like that, it isn't easy to make it. It's funny. It's like it is hard to make art stupid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. It's a whole skill of its own to make very simple, fun, laughable art that doesn't have, like, an edge to it.
Well, yeah, yeah, you have to keep stuff like really philosophical. You have to really think about what the other person is thinking in order to make it super easy to understand.
Mhm.
Um, so you have to look at whatever piece you want to look at from
Well,
a third person perspective view.
this is the one I've been looking at this whole time is this little Calvin. It says, "Life is short, party naked." It's a little simple, fun one. But with that, that's all the time we have today.
All right, brother.
We got to show some really, really cool art. If you did want to have Devin help you with anything, you could contact me, and I could probably get you in touch with him. And thank you so much for being on the show. We're gonna be every day in March. We're pushing through with the D letters D, and moving on into E, the entertainment roundup next week, and Dream Builders with my cousin Patrick coming up soon. So thank you for watching the Brandon K Show. Like and subscribe now if you got this far, and we'll see you tomorrow.